I wrote this reflection a week ago. It came out of a quiet Saturday morning. I wrote it in the first person singular, as Jesus, in his voice, recollecting his childhood. God only knows how true it is, but to you I can say it is grounded, deeply grounded in our tradition and our scripture and the history of those times as well. Hopefully, you will see references to the rest of the story played out in this reflection. I am an only child. I don't know who my biological dad is. Was it a Roman soldier who forced himself on her? That was the rumor around town. Was it the town drunk? Was it a romance gone wrong? I can't really say, nor can I really say that my childhood was happy. I grew up hearing the whispering of other women in my town about us. I grew up being bullied and called names and shamed because of all those whisperings. I could not expect them to understand. I myself did not understand. All I know is that it hurt me terribly to see my mom ridiculed and mocked. When I tried to do something right, they would say, "Wait, isn't this Mary's son? Isn't the carpenter his father?" As if to say, how could he ever amount to anything? Many was the night I cried myself to sleep. My dad, he managed to keep his nose to the grindstone, and he was good at what he did. I was so proud of him. We did not always get along. He was a quiet man. He had a big heart. You see, in my country, with my people, a woman without a man was a nobody. She had no rights and no property, and mostly had to beg for everything she got. In my country, with my people, a child was nobody as well. It was likely we could have starved to death, but my dad stepped up and took us into his home, and my mom as his wife, and he made me his son. No matter how hard it got, I never forgot that. Given those whisperings and all those sidelong glances, it was so brave of him to do that. He saved us, you see. My dad saved us from the constant ridicule that dogged our every step. He saved us from the streets, really. He gave us a name, and a good name. And he gave us dignity. We didn't have much. Whatever money we had was taken from us by the nation that defeated us in that awful war that took too many of us away. The Roman occupier bled us by taxes upon taxes upon taxes. Fear was constantly with us. My mother and my father tell me that for a time the three of us were unwelcome immigrants who fled our country for fear and never did find a home there either. We thought that leaving behind the ridicule and the whisperings and the fears for our lives would end. We were wrong. Adolescence for me was tough. Tough for me and for my parents. I was hungry to learn. I was hungry to find my way, and I was hungry to find my voice. I was pulled this way and that by my desires. I didn't know really what I wanted. I knew I wanted to help people because being as lonely as I was growing up and not having much made me really, really sensitive to other people who didn't have much either, or who were shamed for who they were. I saw myself in the outcast and those most discounted and shamed and the stranger. And I could not be moved to help those who are down and out on their luck. Empathy, you see, was quick and easy for me because been there, done that. I got it. Maybe you can understand why now. I wanted to know God. That was in me from the beginning. I don't know why all the way. I wanted to know God. I wrestled against some of the thinking about God in my community of faith. I was raised a good Jew. Mom and Dad and I kept the Sabbath. We studied the Bible. And when the big fear would come over me, she would sing to me the songs of David. From the beginning, I knew my mom loved me. She fought to keep me. She fought to keep me safe. She told me again and again the stories of our ancestors and the great adversity they had to overcome, and how God would use them to keep alive our hope in spite of ourselves. She was the one who lit the fire in me that would become my faith, my trust. My understanding of my Jewish faith just got deeper and deeper as I kept searching for God, searching for answers, searching for reasons, searching for the one true God of Israel. Something was stirring up in me as I studied. Something was stirring up me as I debated the rabbis in the synagogue. The debates became intense sometimes and not all the way satisfying. So many hours I spent with the Torah, and so many hours I spent in conversations with my elders, and so many hours listening to Mom and Dad tell me of how they saw the world. I was different. I was not sure why. I was not sure where I fit in. I was scared a lot. My mother worried about me too. She would see me spending long hours, even as an older kid, thinking and praying the Psalms. I wanted belonging with other kids, but I knew I was somehow different. But I had no clue. And it left me even lonelier. And I hated that. But I couldn't do anything different. There were times when my family, even my mother, thought I might be crazy. Sometimes I had to push back really hard, harder than I wished I would have, against her worry. I went away for a while to get my head together. It was not till I was 30 years old that this Jewish boy was ready to begin to do what was his to do. You know the rest of the story. I do not need to tell it here. But I wanted to tell you about my family. We were not perfect. We were messy. But in it all, I've come to see that we were a holy family, just as we were. We were a holy family, blessed by God. Might yours be too? Might your family, just as it is, be holy too? Holier than you know. Holier than you know.